Hey there.
Welcome back.
Nice to see all those happy faces out there. Everybody find your seats.
Get some popcorn.
Yep. I don't know how many people have seen um it's only been out, well, it was irritating for me because everybody that I watch is into the subject. And so
Yeah.
and they're all podcasters that get like a pre-screening
Oh yeah.
pass of some kind, and they all start talking about it right away. They're like, "There's no spoilers, but I hated it," or you know what I mean.
Yeah.
And I don't want to hear that either, or I loved it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whatever their opinion is about it, and so I had to try to avoid that. Um, but yeah, we're gonna be talking about it. Probably not trying to avoid spoilers. Really, it's gonna be hard to do that. So if you don't want it to be spoiled, then probably don't listen, don't watch.
We
Unfortunately,
can
but
we can totally do a non-spoiler section, just kind of like what we generally thought about the movie and stuff like that,
yeah,
and then disclose and be like, "Hey, now we're going to discuss spoilers." But we are talking about Disclosure Day, specifically, that just came out. When did
Friday.
it completely came out on Friday?
Yeah, that was its worldwide release. It came out for, like I was saying, for some of the press
Yeah.
corps and shit like that earlier, like a week earlier, I think.
Yeah.
Um, and I the whole time I've been like, I was really excited to see it, but I was not. As it got closer, I was just like trying to tamper my, you know, expectations, just because every time I do that, I'm slightly disappointed. But
Yeah.
I really liked it. I enjoyed it. There were a couple things, very minor things, that Amy and I were talking about it.
Mm-hmm.
God, I gotta stop doing that. I always forget that I'm doing that. But
Yeah.
anyway, everybody forget you heard that. Nobody knows. Anyway, um, we were talking about the one thing. There was one thing at the end, the very, very end, that just felt like a little too far in the
Mm-hmm.
way that it was done, not necessarily when we get to the point where we can talk freely about it, I'll just go ahead and
Yeah.
tell you what I'm talking about. And it wasn't that bad,
No.
like going back, but
I mean, the overall movie itself, I would probably give like a 7 out of 10, you know?
Mhm.
Like it is a pretty lighthearted, kind of fun movie, but its subject matter is very intriguing, you know?
I wouldn't
Like
call it lighthearted. It didn't seem lighthearted to
some
me.
moments definitely felt lighthearted, especially in like
Moments, yeah.
their action or like I guess one scene in particular
What's
felt
her name
kind
had
of
a lot of
goofy.
like, she had like a lot of little funny,
Emily Blunt.
yeah, Emily Blunt.
Yeah, I thought she did actually a really good
Yeah,
job. I thought the boyfriend was a little more like unbelievable, you know?
the boyfriend.
Yeah, her boyfriend, Emily Blunt's boyfriend in the film, just kind of he doesn't really do much, you know?
No, he doesn't have a big role. It's Kurt Russell's kid.
Yeah,
He's actually the
and he's a
main.
really good
He's
actor.
one of the main characters in the Monarch Godzilla
Yeah, and
show.
he's like the new Captain America as well, but like a disgraced one in the
Oh,
MCU
I
as
didn't know that.
well. Yeah, he gets like the same serum as Steve Rogers in the MCU, but he's
Okay,
like uh brutal, I think, or something like that, because it comes from like the TV show that they made after in Endgame and stuff like that, after Tony Stark died and all that from the
okay.
Avengers stuff, and they continued and made like the TV shows.
Mhm.
um he gets introduced in there, and he's like just a Captain America that like kills essentially, even though
Mm.
he did kill, the other
Mhm.
one did kill, but he was more of like a soldier, and this one's
They
like,
didn't. They didn't focus on it too much.
yeah, but people, they didn't really handle it well. They tried to paint him as a bad guy and like have the terrorists be like they're just terribly misunderstood, but they were still like doing terrorist stuff and like blowing
Mhm.
up civilians. So then he like kills the
Yeah, I don't
terrorist.
understand why you're doing this.
Yeah, and so he like kills the terrorist, and they're like, how could you do this? And like literally everyone who watched the show was like,
He was about to kill 100 people
yeah.
in one like tiny location.
So I think he gets kind of the short end of the stick sometimes when it comes to like roles and stuff like that. You know?
I guess I don't. All I know is everything I've seen him in, and he's been really good.
Well,
You
in
know, he's
Black
got his
Mirror,
dad's sense
his
of humor.
episode
And,
in
yeah,
Black Mirror
yeah.
is so good and so iconic.
I'm sure I've seen it. I don't remember which one he was.
He gets the like implant in his brain that lets him see things like video games that aren't actually there. You know, like they put down a little pad and like a little gopher comes up from the
Oh,
table,
yeah,
and he's
yeah.
like
Was
able
that the
to.
most recent season?
No,
Gay boy.
Deshaun,
Look at him.
stop.
Look at this
We're,
gay boy.
we're recording, dog.
I was just thinking
Oh,
of
Deshaun just jumped in. Hey, Deshaun.
Dog, we are recording. You are live right now.
Oh, I am so sorry.
Oh, there's that pretty face. He's actually on here. You're the only face on there too.
It's up forever, bro.
You just exposed yourself.
Oh no.
Not that we care. We just don't have a camera. So.
Oh, okay. Then there you go. I just get to hear my beautiful voice.
Well, we do. We have one camera that points at me, but I'm not using it because I don't want to be the only one on there.
Yeah. They can't see you right now. I think they can hear you though.
Oh, they couldn't? I thought they could.
No, they couldn't see him.
Oh, yeah, they would have to be on the other screen.
Yeah.
That's fair.
I'm glad I didn't come in here and say anything crazier than what I did.
Yeah. Just the usual.
But I did want to ask you guys how your guys' movie was.
That's actually what we were just talking about.
I give it about an 8.
Mhm.
Really?
Bert gives it about a 7.
Yeah.
But yeah, I thought it was really good. There was just, like I say, a couple little things. We got to echo. I'm muted.
Where's it coming from? Oh, it is me.
It might be me going into your mic. Sorry, talking too loud.
Nah. I think you need to mute me.
Oh, okay.
Where? Muted right there.
Well, I'll let you guys finish, and then call me when you guys are done. I want to hear more about this.
Okay, yeah.
Movie.
That's cool, man.
Because I've heard some good things and some bad things, so I really want
Yeah.
you know.
I mean, it was really good. It was just like most Steven Spielberg movies. I mean, he's got some things that can be corny and stuff like that, but
Yeah.
I think he handled the subject matter pretty well. I don't know what's happening right now. Is it coming out of my?
Yes, that's where it's coming from. My audio is going through your iPad.
I've
So you
never
have to
done that
mute.
before.
It's because for Deshaun to be able to hear me, I have to mute my mic.
Okay, I just don't know how to do that
Yeah,
from
Deshaun,
my
we'll
end.
talk to you later.
Sorry, dude.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm apologize.
You're good.
What if we knew how to do this? It wouldn't be that big a deal. I don't understand why. Yeah.
That sounds like we can figure it out another time while you guys are not live.
Yep.
Love you guys.
Yeah, we'll talk to you later.
We got a crowded room, man. You're embarrassing us.
Yeah, there's so many viewers right now.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm viewing it.
Well, see.
Okay,
But, all right, boys.
All right.
Love you guys.
Peace.
love you. Bye.
I should be able to, if necessary. I think I would have to have. We'd have to be. There's no way for me to do it from my end.
It's just weird. You should be able to.
It's weird that it was coming through here. I don't understand
It's
that.
because I had the mic on Discord unmuted, so the Discord audio was coming through here. And there should be a way to just mute
But
me
he's on
individually.
Discord. Maybe his needed to be.
Well, then you wouldn't be able to hear him.
No, you're right.
So you can hear me because we're
Oh, that's right,
connected on the
because he
same
was
mic
not.
setup.
He's not on an interface mic.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we mute Discord because we're talking to each other through the same setup.
Mm-hmm.
But we use Discord to like share our screens and do other stuff.
Right.
A little behind the scenes for anybody
So
who's
complicated,
watching.
folks. I hope you're enjoying this.
I know.
We don't know what we're doing. Did we tell you this before? I think we did.
Yeah, the last one I'm pretty sure we stated that this is
Yeah.
a lot of touch and feel.
So, same shit, different week.
Yeah.
FYI. I mean, that might change, but hopefully that's what we're counting on.
It'll definitely get better, and he'll probably actually be joining us on some
Yeah,
conversations.
that'd be awesome.
When,
Somebody should, but the thing is that I think it would help if he got on a isolated mic from the Discord.
Yeah.
In order for us to hear him, that shouldn't happen. It shouldn't happen. Somebody should be able to call in through Discord. Like,
Yeah.
if you and I are remotely doing this on Discord, we both have interface and a mic.
Yeah.
There should be no echo issues.
No, there wouldn't be any at all. We wouldn't be muted. I would be pulling the audio from Discord.
Mm-hmm.
You know. It should be pretty self-explanatory. I got to
Nice.
make a different channel so that we have our
Okay.
live thing. That way he just knows when he can come in and say whatever he wants and when we're actually live.
Okay.
You know.
Discord for dummies, folks. All right. We'll move on now. I'm the dummy here. Absolutely, because Christian pretty much knows or Bert. Who are you? Knows his way around. He knows his way around Discord.
I am a gamer. I do spend a lot of time on the PC.
Yep.
But anyways, the conceptualizations that the movie brought up felt very at home with the things that you bring up. You
Mhm.
know, when you were like, I guess we're kind of getting into spoiler territories now.
Yeah.
I think it's just kind of
Fair
the
warning.
nature of it. Yeah, here's your warning for spoilers. We're not going to really avoid anything now.
And I'm sorry if you don't
kinda
want to hear
have
the
to.
spoilers and all you had to listen to was Discord tutorial up until this point. But we did say a few things, at least our opinion. But really, the
Mhm.
meat and the potatoes of the whole thing
Comes
are right now about it. So go
Yeah.
ahead, man. I'm sorry.
Oh no, it's okay. I just was gonna say, Emily Blunt's powers are very reminiscent of what you had talked about with
Mhm.
like empathy
Mhm.
being exerted to such a level, you
Right.
know, and being able to completely slip into someone's shoes.
Yeah.
I felt that like immediately with that movie and kind of understood what they were going for,
Yeah.
you know, and like how that it wasn't even like they never even said anything about being psychic or anything like that, you know.
Because it's a little different, right? Because I mean, you in a way you are, but it's different. You have like it's almost like you have a hard line connected, you know, not just a Wi-Fi, where you feel so your superpower isn't just knowing everything about that person.
Yeah.
You're feeling everything they feel. So it's not an easy, I would think it wouldn't be an easy superpower to have, especially turned up to 10 like that.
Yeah, and she's kind of like super aware of that fact by the
Yeah.
end, and you can tell that when she gets that, when they go and push her through her like traumatic experience, you
Mhm.
know, which ended up being an abduction that she
An abduction
suppressed.
case. And that's
Yeah.
kind of one of the things that brings me down to only an 8.
Mhm.
Because the movie is technically it's made for people that aren't really familiar with the subject.
Yeah.
They haven't gone deep into the lore. They haven't followed it for all you have to do is follow it for like a year and you start to really absorb, you know, everything that has gone along with this thing and how it has been suppressed and how it's gradually coming to the surface because it can't be suppressed anymore, just because, you know, you can't hide anything. And it's kind of like the double-edged sword for people that are, you know, in the intelligence community and some elites that might want to know everything about you and their quote unquote subjects, you know,
Yeah.
that they want to, you know, have surveillance on you and not let you have privacy. Well, unfortunately, the nature of the world right now and the way information is carried, unless there's a very dramatic change, which could happen, you
Mhm.
know, that same sword is turned back on them,
Yeah.
basically. It does not allow them privacy either, and they're realizing it, so they're having to release things, and their best weapon, I would say, is distorting information,
Hmm.
using the media. So I don't, even though it's Steven Spielberg, even though he says what he says, I don't 100% trust his, because he's putting out the exact version
Yeah.
that is the storybook book version of what has happened in the past 80 years, but there are so many nuances to the fucking story, um, that have changed just within the last 10 years, that have put more intrigue into the entire thing, deepened it,
Yeah.
complicated it. So that's the basic version, but really, what it is doing, in my opinion, I think what he's trying to do is just with kid gloves approach the public and be like, look, don't be scared, but this more than likely is actually real right now.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? In a way that is non-threatening.
Yeah.
Because, like I was saying earlier, any uh, new event, new situation, you know, is going to present both positives and negatives. You're going to have your crazy psychotics that come out of it, extraterrestrially or ultra, whatever, you know, whatever species that we're not aware of, multiple species. Some are going to be bad, some are
Yeah.
going to be good, some are going to love us, some are going to want to eat us. But there's going to be both sides of the spectrum.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so that's where it's hard to approach the general public that doesn't really understand that it's something that they're just now getting used to the idea that it's not something to just giggle about anymore.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Um, and like also, like I was saying last night, I don't, I think it's possible it could be something like, the planets in the solar system where most of us were only able to be aware of that reality a priori
Yeah.
and not physically seeing it for ourselves for a very long time until now. A lot of us, we can get, the telescopic power to actually, the average citizen can do that and
Yeah.
go and look at Mars and stuff like that. And by looking at Mars, that tells you that the rest of the information is probably true. You can like
Yeah.
literally get a powerful enough telescope. If it takes some money, but we can. But for a long time, we just had to take everybody's word for it. And
Yeah.
the pictures that were
Provided to us.
sent back from probes and stuff like that. Um, so my first thought was like, for a couple generations, it could be like that. We get pictures and little videos and films about these species, just because, I don't know, it takes a very special skill set and training to actually meet up with them. Who knows?
Yeah.
But I don't think so. The reason why I don't think so is because uh, they're engaging with us already.
Yeah.
Something connected with them is engaging with us already, and this is based on hundreds and thousands of personalized testimonials. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That a few of those you can discount, but not that many. When the numbers reach that scale, that's why the scientists and academia has kind of come around, because when the
Yeah.
numbers reach that you know what is the word I'm looking for? I hate it when I go blank like that, but the um critical mass. The
Mhm.
numbers reach critical mass, it is no longer deniable, right?
Yeah.
um that there is something, there's a there, and that at the very least is what's being approached with this movie. Whereas Close Encounters was like, hey man, I'm telling you, there's people out there, and they might be, you never know, they could be visiting. Wouldn't it be crazy if they were coming here?
Yeah.
That's the way it approaches it. this one approaches it like, hey, wow, this is like actually happening. We just realized this is here right now. Wouldn't it be crazy if like the whole world realized it at the same time and governments were open to it, and there was, it's approaching it from that perspective as opposed to um, sci-fi.
Yeah.
It's not sci-fi. It's speculative
Yeah.
science.
And I think that's the portions of the movies that really just kind of drag it down, like the over reliance on the device,
Mm-hmm.
And I get that they're trying not to explain too much, like at all,
Ruins the story if you explain too much.
Yeah, but there is a lot that I feel could have been explained, that wasn't.
But that's what I mean is I think that it was put out there like for a like I would say 80% of the population in this subject are at third grade level, right?
Yeah.
So that's how they're putting it out there. Just giving them the basics. Because it's too late to like literally it's too late to go into to like do a serial tutorial, in the
Yeah.
in story form, in narrative form, because all these things are kind of happening right now. Literally the same week that he released it, there was a press conference on the steps of the Capitol building,
Yeah.
demanding that Trump release more than the Pentagon's letting him release right now every Friday, and they've been releasing these tranches, these files that have been. But the thing is that the people in the community, the UFO community that have been following it are like, fucking hey, we've seen all this. We've seen it because we've gotten it from whistleblowers and people that have like just been anonymous, and under the cover of anonymity have shown these. At the very least, it verifies
Yeah.
that those were not fakes because they're releasing them. So, yeah, I think the UFO community that has been sitting here on the topic forever needs to like step back and just let some of these things happen. Let the rest of the world catch up.
Yeah.
Because they're like, give us more. Come on, we know. I mean, we've already seen all this shit. Yeah, but the rest of the world hasn't. That's the point. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Just the fact that it's happening is kind of a big deal. Whether or not it is like to sidetrack from this or sidetrack from that, who gives a fuck? I mean, really, it's happening, and that's a big deal to me and a lot of other people.
Yeah.
So, I'll shut up now. It's rambling.
That's okay. Because obviously, this movie means a lot more to you than it does to like me,
Yeah.
And when I see it as like just a movie, it feels like almost lazy, but in context to our conversations that we've had about this subject and about the
Right.
like having that that context beforehand
Mm-hmm.
really did enhance the movie for me, because honestly it didn't feel like a 3-hour movie. The pacing didn't feel like bad,
Mhm.
it had that Steven
It didn't
when
feel
I say
it didn't feel slow. Like, oh my
yeah,
god, is this gonna end anytime soon?
no, but it definitely felt abrupt in its ending
Yeah.
and a little too like tidy, like the powers were just so like she
Yeah.
could make anybody do anything, sort of vibe, but like not to that one guy.
Except that it wasn't.
Yeah,
It wasn't. It wasn't like she made them. It was just like she touched
tapped
a
into
nerve.
Yeah,
She touched a nerve, and all that people could do when you're kind of flustered and dumbfounded like that is just stop,
yeah,
and it just interrupted their aggressiveness. You know what I mean? Basically, because anybody that was really dead set on doing whatever they wanted to do would get around that, would get over it pretty quickly.
yeah.
But it was enough time for her to get to where she was going, point A to point B.
And when I say the movie is light, I think of what I really mean is it has that Steven Spielberg of like an adventure kind of movie, you know?
Yeah.
Like especially because of its soundtrack, you know?
Spielberg. That's
Yeah,
the
Steven
superhero
Spielberg.
version.
Spielberg. So, yeah,
When you say that, I picture him wearing a cape.
that's fair.
But anyway, sorry.
But
Um,
that's all I mean is just it felt almost like an ET adventure kind of movie just because of its soundtrack.
Yeah.
Just because it made it feel way more lighthearted. But the context of what they were talking about and when they're like face to face with the aliens, it reminded me of Knowing. And Knowing always had a
yeah.
very cool like
So
inhuman
ominous.
thin man alien like
Yeah, and it
vibe,
it
and they
left
had no emotions.
it left
at
plenty
all.
up to imagination.
Well, they look like something that could just kill you.
And
like
it was. But I agree. I'm sorry. I'm not.
there's a part
like,
of the human brain when I'm staring at like these
Yeah.
like truly alien looking like people, and it's kind of like what the uncanny valley effect of
Mhm.
like there's something in the human brain that when you see something that's
Can't
not
put a finger on
quite
it.
human, yeah, it makes human beings uncomfortable.
And that's what people feel when they see what they call the Nordics.
Yeah.
I mean, they are identical.
Yeah.
They're just really tall, and they're really blonde, and they look like Nordics. You know what I mean? But they're kind of perfect, almost like supermodel esque,
Mhm.
and it kind of punch you into that uncanny valley.
Yeah.
You know, when you see them, you couldn't look at them and be like, "That's not right," and "That's not right." There's not one thing that's not right. Maybe it's all too perfect. Who knows? You know, there's people that claim that they've had, what do you call it? That they've had actual mental conversations or overheard mental conversations with these beings. This is all hearsay, but they are pretty well established stories, you know, that have been corroborated by many other people that have had the same thing happen when
Yeah.
encountering these people, and then also abductees that have encountered these people that are not wearing their human garb and that are full on. I'm obviously not from here, you
Yeah.
know. I just look like you. So I guess that's where this has reached that critical mass, is if you take each one of these stories, each at face value, they just seem too ridiculous. There's just too many of them.
Yeah.
There's too many of them, and they just get more and more bizarre. But the mass of bizarre stories that there are, and how many of them actually, like, just there's no relation between these people. They are thousands of miles apart, sometimes years apart, but they exactly match as far as like how their interaction was and what type of beings they were interacting with.
Yeah.
You know, that has taken 80 years. Probably, and we say 80 years, probably around 100 years, to get to the point where we're looking back and looking at all that data
Yeah.
that's been gathered over that period of time, and even the most diehard skeptic has to throw their hands up and be like, "All right, I still think it's stupid, but there's something here."
Yeah. I mean, there's definitely way too much
Yeah.
consistency over time, you know?
As far as like, I want to go back to what you said though. The soundtrack, it
Mhm.
was, I loved it. I love the fact that it kind of harkened back to the old, like the old 80s Steven, like full orchestral. It
Yeah.
wasn't all digitized. It sounded like a Steven Spielberg movie.
Yeah, it felt very intentional. Like the
Yeah.
soundtrack stood out so hard.
Like they were trying
the
to be like,
movie.
this is a Steven Spielberg movie.
Yeah. I don't know.
It sounded very well. It should be something that we do pretty soon, and watch Close Encounters.
Yeah, because I don't think I've ever seen Close Encounters myself.
Yeah.
So that would be awesome
Yeah.
to
If you were to watch it, you'd be like,
juxtapose.
you're like, wow, this is like for the time frame that it was. I think it was 19. I think I gotta double check this, but I feel like it was 1974 when it was released, the year that I was born, and when I watched it, of course, I'm just a kid, and I'm like, it's sci-fi, and I grew up with the mentality of everybody knows there's aliens. They're out there, and they
Yeah.
could be here, and who knows? And maybe one day we'll actually see them. I mean, it was just there. There wasn't really an argument about that
Yeah.
in my mind, like with myself. Like, should I believe? Should I not believe? It just was kind of like it just was in my own inner realm was status quo.
Yeah.
You know, the exciting part was getting to see it gradually find traction within the world zeitgeist.
Yeah.
As I grew up to the point where people were starting to not only, and maybe that was part of it. Maybe I accepted it without it being truly real to me,
Mhm.
and it gradually became more real when I started to see the evidence, and that is what was gripping.
Yeah.
You know, as I started to realize, holy shit, this might actually be a real thing, and there's a possibility that I might actually see something from somewhere else, whether that be right next to us, parallel to us,
Mhm.
or from another, off planet. In my lifetime, it has started to seem more plausible.
Yeah.
So that's where I started to take it seriously, and I do agree with a lot of the people that have researched it their whole life. I mean, if this is about to become a reality after all these years of conditioning the sci-fi movies and shows and all of that, almost instilling an expectation of it being the
Mhm.
case in our minds. I mean, you're almost programmed at birth to expect it.
Yeah.
Um, that whole idea of ontological shock, I don't think is really relevant anymore because our belief systems, without us even understanding it, have been kind of tweaked to
Mhm.
allow for it, right?
Yeah.
Even if we don't accept it consciously, subconsciously, there's something that's tweaked in all of us that is not going to let us like just fall apart when we see that our world, even religious people, be
Mhm.
like, I thought there might be something like that, God.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to have to go back to the drawing board. Let's read the Bible again, guys. I think we missed something. Or no,
Yeah.
actually, I remember that part. We skipped over it because we didn't understand it.
But now with this new
Now,
information
yep,
we've
I
learned,
get it
now with
now.
this context,
That's what that means.
that does make sense. I did like that they focused on religion in the movie, and its implications there. It just felt very surface level, with
Right.
like Christianity being the only representative of the world kind of given there in that context too of like how will people go on, because I think like there's no way the people in like the Middle East, like the same people that like super fucking abuse like women and like have all these like
Yeah.
kind of like crazy rules. um I don't think they'd be okay with seeing aliens on
Yeah.
TV, I think that would make a huge, like, if it was really being taken seriously and like
Like, cover that face. I'm being serious. Cover it.
yeah, I think it would
I don't want
be
to see them ankles.
another reason to keep people fighting,
Yeah.
like
Well,
that human side of nature I don't think was
that's
really
the
explored.
Yeah, that's the
Just
thing that
how
is
different,
going.
how violent, because they had the whole like they did the classic like the world powers are like have these growing tensions, and like the world we're on the brink of just extinction through nuclear
Yeah.
warfare, and I think it would have been more interesting if it focused on like how greedy people are,
Mhm.
because
If you think about it, there's just way too much to cover.
yeah.
That's why movies are great, and I love going to the theater and everything. That'll always be a beloved pastime of mine. But the serial nature of the the modern, home cinematic experience makes much more sense to me.
Yeah.
Because it can really explore a subject.
Yeah.
And dive into it and really just, I mean, especially if it is, say like a 3 or 4 year limited release,
Hmm.
where they know there's a beginning and an end, not that just this, ongoing ad infinitum, no fucking end in sight, just so they can have a show forever and keep coming up with a storyline.
Yeah.
But a real beginning, middle, and end. But that's enough space to explore all of those alleys.
Hmm. It's kind of
Everything that all the tentacles and arms that are extend off the trunk of the main story itself.
yeah. It kind of reminds me of like Lord of the Rings or Fear Street or something like that. Like
Yeah.
a series of movies that are all made at the same time with the ending in mind are usually some of the most hitting stories, I'd say, like long lasting stories that kind of like leave you just sitting there like, wow, that was just very well thought out.
Yeah.
Like that alone will make a movie like
Because
a movie
it gives
series
them
in the
time.
stories.
Gives them time to like really get into it. You
Yeah,
know?
well, it's not like a TV show where there's filler.
Right.
They don't really have time.
Oh, wait a minute. What are you talking
for
about? Like the
filler.
movie or the?
Well, I'm saying in the terms of pacing of like
Yeah.
a trilogy or something like that, where
Yeah.
they get to, because we're talking about the home theater experience and how it's being used to kind of deliver this information.
Yeah.
I think a TV show is just a little too like open ended.
It
Like,
can be, but that's my
it
point.
can just be too to focus on the things that people don't care about.
You have your
you know?
networky versions where they do have
Mhm.
filler because
Yeah.
they're just trying to maintain a show. But then what I'm talking about are the limited releases where it's either one season or up to 4 seasons. I think the best time frame that I've seen, I think the Leftovers could have had a 4th season.
Oh, I don't
There was
think
so
so.
much. I
It's
do.
perfect.
I don't.
I think
I don't.
it's
There was so much to
perfect.
explore. It's like I've watched it, dude. I have watched that show like 5 times at least. Okay, and I'm saying that like that's very conservative, and there's so many more questions. And it's definitely based on a book, But I feel like that it could have expanded and
Mhm.
explored more of the things that were broached. They broached a lot that was not they couldn't address, and they addressed a lot.
Yeah, and I think that's one of the things that made that show feel so ethereal and dreamlike.
Yeah.
Was that they couldn't really explain a lot. You were kind of like nothing was like straight up explained to you, and even when something really was, like at the end of the show when Nora is straight up like, so I went to the other dimension and I like saw where my family went.
Exactly.
And I
would
came back.
That's
and
where
they have no proof of it. It's all left up for you. You're in Kevin's shoes.
that's a whole nother
and
season.
have to give her that same closure. Because honestly, I don't know what I believe. I don't think it happened. I think she's lying.
I don't think so.
I
don't think so,
why
because
I think it's perfect. It's
it-
open ended in a way that's like either one feels possible, But that's why I think it's really
All right.
like,
Well, I
perfect
am
in my
going
mind.
to.
Because it's a story about
I'm
Kevin.
gonna be with
and Nora.
Hecklefish and say, agree to disagree, because that could be an entire season by itself. And yes, I do know
But
what
the
you're
show
saying.
is about like
I
love
honestly do know
and
what you're
family,
saying. It was all of that mysterious shit was kind of the sideshow,
Mhm.
and the real subject
Meat and
matter
potatoes, yeah.
was exactly that. You know what I mean? The emotions, the what people were going through
Yeah.
when these things were happening. But you still had that and could still explore what happened in that on the other side, because the fact remains that 2% of the population did disappear unexplained, right? And the fact that they even went as far as to get to the point where they had a company that was able to access this portal,
Yeah.
um, tells me that that wasn't just her lying. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
About it, because she didn't die in the experience,
Yeah.
and she went through with the whole thing, and she came back. Now that experience right there, if it like what they put her through, if it was not real and they were just like taking money and sending people to their deaths, she wouldn't be back. You know,
I mean,
she
they
wouldn't
could
have
have
been
just
back.
left her in the device, and because she was in a parking lot in the middle of nowhere, you know. So they could have
Again, but
literally locked her in, had some machines going.
sure,
Because I watched a video on it that was like
they
that
could
brought
have.
that aspect to it and questioned it and was like, what if she did get scammed, and like the rest of her life she has like not been able to like deal with the fact that she never was able to find a way back, and so when she sees Kevin again, she lies, you know, because she needs that closure, and Kevin being able to like accept it
I'm not saying that's not valid.
is like what she needed.
I'm not saying that's not valid, but
Yeah.
I truly don't think that that's what the authors were going for there.
I just think it's interesting because they didn't like favor religion or
No,
science over one
no.
another. They were both left up to
They were both relevant.
these questions
They were
of
both
like why did
relevant
this happen?
and allowed to coexist.
Yeah.
And I think that 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 stands with this subject matter as well, because so many people for the longest time, um, and I mean I I feel like for the past at least 5 years, it's that that idea has diminished. That
Mhm.
religion would be rocked to its it might be rocked. It might be
Yeah.
rocked, but more than likely it would just have to shift with the rest of us,
Yeah.
you know? Because I still think it's relevant. I still think that it allows science and religion to be relevant because they both contribute to how we have developed as a species.
Yeah.
All right, it's like the same idea as like, does fucking art imitate life or life imitate art? At this point, we don't fucking know anymore. You know what I mean? We really don't.
Yeah.
There's no chicken and egg scenario right there anymore. It's been a long time since anybody has even been able to say, well, look, that came first and influenced that, and we know that for a fact. I don't think that that's really ever been the case since the genesis of science fiction, sci-fi.
Yeah.
The reason why sci-fi became a thing all the way back to like way before H.G. Wells is because there was something in our new sphere that told us that these things were possible. We had never seen any of these things. We were dreaming of them. There were things that were coming to us, and stories were being written about them. How? You know?
Yeah.
In the same way that people are coming up with religions and gods, pantheons of gods, and, you know, almighty singular gods, and all these things out of thin air. It would seem so, but not really. It came to these people or these individuals from somewhere.
Yeah.
From somewhere, whether it be like right next to us in a reality that has somehow been able to observe another reality that has been accepted as being sentient and real, almost in the way that, say, we created maybe a video game reality that became a simulation, and then we realized that we had created life and they were sentient, and we started to study them. And then that sentient video game reality became an actual reality that we started to realize that we were able to enter, and that they began to realize that they were being visited by something inexplicable they couldn't figure out. You know what I mean? What it was, but it, you know, in their time, in their time frame, which would be completely different from us, it had been millennia that it had been happening, and they could track it, and it was in their art history books, and had been denied and squabbled over and made fun of, and then finally started to be taken seriously. And then all of a sudden we begin to realize that we would like to interact with this simulation that we've created, these sentient beings that are only digital in our eyes.
Mm-hmm.
But then we realize that that's not what matters.